Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Corey Johnson, and welcome to Relationship Management. Today's topic is going to be about respect my mind. And I'm going to say it like that because lots of people all over the world, they want you to respect their mind. Whoever is listening to this message right now, you, in particular, you want people to respect your mind. Whether you're a woman or a man, you want a person to respect your mind. You know what I mean? When I say, respect your mind, I'm going to give you an example that will show and give you better clarification. When you want a person to respect your mind, especially, if a person is living up in your house, you would want that person to respect your mind, your rules, because up in your house, you're going to have rules, and rules, and there's guidelines you're going to want the person to go by, Also, there's boundaries, that you will want your significant other to respect, So when you say, respect my mind, that's like everything. That's like overall, because, you are in the position, if you really feel that way, that you want a person to respect your mind, you are in a position to say, okay, when I say respect my mind, I'm talking about guidelines. I have guidelines. I have boundaries. Basically, I have rules. And if you can't respect how I feel about this, you can't move in my house. Because, there's specifics. You're just going to have to obey. There's many specific that you're just going to have to obey. Because me and nobody else is going to let you live up in their house if you don't respect their mind. Straight up. So if you move in with someone and you don't respect their mind and they kick you out the third day, it's going to be your fault and it's going to be good for you because you should know better. If you chosen or you know what I mean, if you choose to have a bad soul and a corrupt heart by being an ugly person or hard-headed, well, then if you get put out, it's going to be all on you and it's going to be good for you. Why? Because you have chosen to do the wrong thing, which is not listen. If somebody telling you something that's going to save you from getting hurt, and if you refuse to listen and do what you want to do anyway, well, you're going to want to get put out a person's house or getting kicked out of a person's life. Because, you're going to have to learn to respect a person's mind. It doesn't matter, if you are a relative to a person. If you being disrespectful, they got a right to kick you out of their life. Blood relative or no blood. Like I said again, it doesn't matter. A person don't have to put up with you if you're going to be disrespectful to them. That doesn't give you a right to disrespect a person just because you are, related to them. Because, people are not stupid. I'm going to give you an example. The guideline is, you know what I mean, or the rules, or I can just say the rules are, you can't be jealous of me because I can feel a person's energies and I can feel your emotions if you are. And if I know that you are jealous of me, I can't trust you no more because a jealous person can hurt somebody. You know what I mean? Jealous people, have you heard this saying? Jealous people, they'll hit you. They can set you up, they'll put something in your food. So you can't trust a jealous person. So that's one of the guidelines. You can't be jealous of me. Because I can feel, if you're jealous, I can feel that you're angry at me. I can feel that you're mad. So, people like that, those are the type of people you need to delete off your friends list. So if you see that you're not on my friends list, that means that I felt your energy, that you're angry at me, you're mad and you're jealous, and I can't have you up in my life. Those type of people I don't need in my life. So today, I'm coming to you as your teacher. And I'm giving you some given facts here. It's very important. All right, I'm going to read the definition of guideline. Okay? Guideline is a general rule, principle, or piece of advice. Like whenever you tell a person in your life, you give them advice, what not to do. Don't do this because it's going to make me angry, it's going to make me mad, it's going to make me curse you out if you do that. And then a lot of people hard-headed, they'll do it anyway. And then you be like, yeah, I thought I asked you not to do that. You do it again, I'm not going to be held responsible if I curse you out. And that person will try and they do it again. And next thing you know, they get cursed out. Well, if you would respect that person's guideline, you wouldn't have to worry about them cursing you out. So I'm gonna get, in more details of guidelines, right? I'm gonna tell you 5 principles of guidance. The principle of all-round development of individuals. The principle of human uniqueness. Principle of hostilic development. The principle of cooperation. You have to be cooperative, The principle of continuity. The principle of extension. The principle of elaboration. The principle of adjustment. You got to get your attitude right. You got to get your mind right. Okay, if you don't try to become a better person, well, then your significant other got a right to kick you out or, to get rid of you. It's very important. So it's up to you if you want to be a good person or a bad person.
Cooperative.
Understand? Okay. What does a guideline contain? The recommendations for research are directional for the recommendations and their likely impact on practice. These are just a little bit, examples. Well, you need to practice on, being on your best behavior, because if you don't, it's going to be consequences and repercussions for you. You can hurt your own self. You ever heard this saying? You make your own bed, you lie in it. You know, you know, you have to be careful because if you bite off your nose to spite your face, you can lose your blessings. And you can also lose the best thing that's ever happened to you. Okay? Now we're going to get deeper. We're going to go to the boundaries. The definition of boundaries is something that indicates or fixes a limit or extent. You have to, respect a person's boundaries. You know what I mean? If you know that a person is gonna get angry or mad if you do a certain or say a certain thing, don't do it and don't say it no more. Because you're asking for it. If you try a person, if you be a daredevil and you try, there's a possibility, you're gonna get hurt. It's just like you bungee jumping. It's a possibility that rope is gonna pop and you're gonna fall on your ass. You're gonna hurt your own self. Very, very important. All right. Now we are going to get into some even deeper details about boundaries. Okay. About relationship boundaries. Okay. It's explained how to set healthy boundaries. Boundaries can support you by promoting your sense of self. They give you the ability to separate your identity, feelings, and needs from your partner, family, friends, and colleagues. Boundaries help create healthy relationships by outlining needs and respecting limits. When setting boundaries in a relationship, it is also important to review consequences and respecting limits. When setting boundaries in a relationship, it is also important to review consequences for a boundary violation. Understand what I'm saying? Or a deal breaker to prevent abuse, due low respect, lack responsibility, or desire for control. What are healthy relationship boundaries? Boundaries are personal limits that you impose in order to maintain your sense of self. Boundaries setting keeps each member of the relationship accountable. Setting healthy boundaries can also lead to mutual understanding and appreciation for differences while preventing resentment and feelings of neglect or invalidation due to unexpressed or unmet needs. Although asserting your needs and compromising might feel intimidating, taking this risk can help build a happy relationship where you feel satisfied as individuals. Why are personal boundaries important? Personal boundaries aid with taking responsibility for your own emotions and behaviors within the relationship. One can increase empowerment and reduce burnout or distress from neglecting your own needs and values by building boundaries in relationships. Reflect on your values and factors that shape your identity. How does it feel to think about the factors the relationship makes space for? What about the factors that don't have as much space in the relationship? How does that make you view the other person or the quality of the relationship? Types of boundaries and how to set them. Boundaries can be categorized into different dimensions based on the type of need. The list below demonstrates the various areas to consider when assessing if you are satisfied with the current relationship dynamics and how boundaries operate within them. Setting boundaries may look like a simple act or may require various conversations to maintain or reinforce a discussion regarding consequences. If these boundaries are violated, can also help reinforce and share the importance of maintaining the boundary. The examples provided below illustrate ways to indicate or initiate discussions about healthy boundaries within each of the following dimensions. The first one is emotional boundaries. You understand? 2 is sexual. The third one is physical. 4 is material. 5 is intellectual. 6 is time. Because nobody don't want you to waste their time. Ain't nobody gonna waste their time on you. You know what I mean? If you're gonna be making them angry or mad or pissed off. You know, intellectual, that's the mind itself. You gotta respect my mind. And just like you want somebody to, respect your mind. Understand? Alright? Emotional boundaries. Emotional boundaries correspond to emotional availability and responsibility for one's feelings. You know what I mean? For instance, sex. Your girlfriend, you know what I mean, be living in your house and she always telling you, no, you can't have no vagina. Well, that's not respecting your boundaries. Well, that's the purpose of why I really want you here, because this cock gets hard and I need to put my dang-a-lang, everybody sing. I need to put it in your vagina. You telling me no, well, you're not respecting. I may as well, you know what I mean, give it somebody else. I'm not going to move you up in my house just so I can be miserable. You know what I mean? I have emotions here. Understand? Okay. Emotional boundaries. Emotional boundaries correspond to emotional availability and responsibility for one's feelings. These boundaries may be based on the safety you experience in the relationship and your partner's availability to support you when in distress. Examples. 1. I need some time to process my thoughts and emotions before discussing. Can you give me 30 minutes and then we can talk about it? 2. I like when we can be playful and tease each other, but please don't joke about my weight. 3. It's hard to be vulnerable with you because people have been dismissive of me in the past. I recognize it's my responsibility to work through these difficult experiences, and you can encourage me if you like. 4. I can see you're going through a hard time right now. I'd like to be there for you, but this isn't a good time. Can we set a time to talk so I can listen to you better? Or 5. I can't share with you how I'm really feeling if you continue to minimize my experience. Please be respectful towards my feelings. Sexual boundaries. Boundaries around sex and intimacy may prevent unwanted touch and sting from previous experience and values about sex and relationships. Although sexual boundaries may be most common in romantic relationships, you may also want to set boundaries in other relationships regarding consent, privacy, and respect. It works both ways. Example, I'm not comfortable with specific action during sex. Can we try something else? Or 2, I'm comfortable with us having an open relationship if you agree to only date women, not men. 3, let's discuss how to initiate sex better. I feel uncomfortable when you grab me without me expecting it. 4, I'm feeling triggered due to my past trauma. I need a break. 5, I enjoy our date together. I'd like to see you again to get more familiar with you before we can get intimate. Physical boundaries. A physical boundary serves to avoid neglect, abuse, and poor health that can come from ignoring needs, such as rest, food, and drink in relationships. Consider needs for physical space and touch. When developing this boundary with someone else, examples: I need a break from touch at this time. 2. I would like to share the space in our home better with you. 3. I need a private area after work to distress. 4. I need to take a break and eat something. 5. I cannot allow you to slap or hit me. Material boundaries. Boundaries surrounding material possessions may outline how you prefer the item to be used and set limits on the frequency of use. If your partner, family, or friend tends to control your access to your belongings to manipulate you, this may be a form of abuse. Examples: 1. I need to give I need you to give me a heads up if you want to borrow the car. 2. Please leave my keys and glasses where I left them. I get stressed when I cannot find them. 3. I feel we've been spending more than usual and it's making me worried. Can we cut back this week? 4. Can you not search through my closet without asking? It reminds me of my mom invading my privacy. 5. I really value my appliances. Can you make sure that you use them carefully? Intellectual boundaries is healthy intellectual boundaries promote respect for each other's thoughts, opinions, and values. This can promote space for productive discussions. Not all discussions may be tolerated, and it is okay to make a boundary around topics that are harmful to groups of people, such as racism, sexism, homophobia, xenophobia. Um, Examples: I would like to avoid conversations about politics right now. I'm already under a lot of stress. 2. I respect your position. Can you respect mine without attempting to change it, even if you don't agree? 3. I would prefer not to watch or listen to violent topics in the home. 4. I know you disagree with me, but I can't allow you to criticize me like that. 5. I feel uncomfortable when racist jokes are made. I can't be around you if this continues. 5. I can't direct you to resources if you want to better understand why this is not okay with me. You have to realize that when you let a person move up in your house, it can't just be about your boundaries, but that person have boundaries too. You know what I mean? You probably have a lot of friends coming in and out of your house, but your woman might be scared of all these different faces coming in your house and making her uncomfortable. Well, you're going to have to cut it back. You're going to have to respect her boundaries too. You can't just let her be up in fearing for her safety and stuff, and hear your friends coming in looking at her like they want to rape her or something, and she's scared and nervous. Every time I turn around, she's in the kitchen you letting your friends up in the house and they licking all that her vagina and stuff. That's making her nervous and scared. She don't know when one of these dudes is gonna just, you know what I mean, just snap and just start raping her or something. You know what I mean? Like try some. So you have to make her feel comfortable. You can't just say, hey, no, it's about me. No, you have to care about her feelings too. You know what I mean? Because some things she do it might trigger all what her ex did to her. You know, she might have got raped in her past, and certain things you do it remind you of, and it freaks her out. But it's time for you guys to talk. You have to care about her feelings and talk. You know, I mean, because you have to be reasonable about it, especially something like that. Understand what I'm saying? But you know about your boundaries, your rules. But just in case, you know what I mean, you're confused about it. I'm gonna give you an example. If a woman come in your house and you have cameras all over your house, and she's saying, "Well, you're gonna have to take them down. They make me feel uncomfortable." Well, then that's disrespectful on our part because you've been had these cameras way before she moved in, or even way before you met her. So she have to respect your rules and your boundaries. You know what I mean? Hey, you had that up for a reason because they got people that come up in your house and they'll try to steal. You know what I mean? Or just in case you have to wind up going to court, you can have proof. You understand? Or somebody about to break in your house. You know what I mean? You have that. That's for your protection. So they have to respect. If you don't respect my boundaries that I have these cameras, well then you can make a U-turn with your suitcase and go back by your grandma's house. Because I'm not gonna have you coming up in my house, you know what I mean, disrespecting my rules or disrespecting my mind with this. You know? But gentlemen, I'm gonna tell you like this. She may be asleep and they got women like this. They got post-traumatic stress disorder. They may be sleeping, you would get hard and just put your penis in and she'll wake up hollering and screaming because, you know what I mean, she been be locked in her past when a man punched her and knocked her out. Then she woke up hollering and screaming when this guy was taking turns doing a train on her. You know what I mean? So you have to be, you know, it's very important that you let your significant other talk to you about certain things like that. And you have to, you know, respect her mind. You know what I mean? That she's freaked out, and you're gonna have to, and she's gonna have to teach you and show you on what things to do, so that she won't get freaked out. She might feel like she rather to be awake, or you know what I mean, or that you would let her know, honey, I love you. It's me, baby. Everything is all right. I just, you know, want to make love because I'm, you know what I mean? And she probably would feel better because you woke up out of her sleep and you let her know her awareness is up. She won't have to freak out thinking that she's getting raped by somebody or something. You know, so you can't get mad if a lady say, no, I don't want you to do it to me because, you know, they got post-traumatic stress disorder. They freaked out from what happened. You can't get angry and mad. You just have to respect their guidelines and boundaries too. It's very important, especially something like that. That way you have to become reasonable with this. You know, you have to be very, very reasonable. You know, time boundaries. Your time boundary can help you balance priorities and commitments. They can prevent burnout within your professional life and help you share responsibilities with your partner. Examples, I feel I haven't spent much time with my family and friends. I want to work with you to figure out how I can have more time with them on weekends. Or two, I need some help with the children. I have been able to take a break and it's taking a toll on me. Three, I would love to hang out, but I can only stay for an hour. Four, I can definitely help you. Here are my rates. Five, I've got a lot going on this semester. Let's think about other ways I can help without overcommitting. 7 boundaries that won't work. Unhealthy boundaries may seem as if one person is in control due to them ignoring the other's values, needs, wants, and limits. People that lack boundaries in relationships may be unaware that this is contributing to their dissatisfaction. In these cases, it may be helpful to take inventory of how much freedom you experience in the relationship, evidenced by the frequency and ease in which you can interact with your personal interests, care for your needs, and express your thoughts, emotions, and values. Below is a list of phrases that illustrate how unhealthy boundaries can manifest in a relationship and lead to invalidation, abuse, disrespect, or fused responsibility for each other's emotion. 1. My partner experienced so much trauma, so it's okay when they get upset and yell at me. I know I can fix them. 2. I don't get why they see things that way. They're so ignorant. I keep telling them they shouldn't be upset over something so small. 3. She keeps saying no and that she doesn't want to do it, but I know what's good for her. 4. They're so frigid. I can't believe they'd be that upset at me wanting to touch them. Don't they don't they know I have needs? Don't they know I have needs? Something like that. 5. I know you said you wanted to take Friday off, but I really need you to work on these new projects, and I expect a summary of progress by the end of the day on Friday. 6. I can't believe you'd rather spend time with them than me. Don't you see all I've been going through lately? You're supposed to help me feel better. 7. Oh, you feel upset? Don't you see how you're making me feel? Don't don't you see all I do for you? You're so ungrateful. You have to be understanding. You can't be selfish.
And you can't be a narcissist.
You know what I mean?
Narcissist.
That's why it's important. Just talk things over. Don't be selfish with your woman. Just try to have understanding and be reasonable. 5 tips for setting healthy boundaries. Healthy boundaries can be constructed through reflection, communication, consistency, and consequences. To promote a balance between personal life and engaging with others, follow the following steps to create personal boundaries. 1. Point out your needs. Identify through self-reflection. 2. Explore how rigid the boundary is. Any areas of flexibility. 3. Practice setting and maintaining limits consistently. 4. Draw the line when a violation occurs and follow through with appropriate consequences. 5. Communicate about how to move forward after a violation and its impact. Hope that you guys enjoyed this and you have a good one.
Respect my mind.